Greetings once again and welcome to video number 9 in our series of 10 on the top 10 advertising mistakes and how to fix them. Up till now we've talked about opportunities of how to invest your advertising funds. Strategies you can do to make sure you get more out of your media placement, tracking your messages, making sure that you get in front of the right audiences. And those are all powerful tips, and I think they will stand you in good stead. I know they've worked for me for countless of applications and clients for 3 decades, so that's the best barometer I can offer. One thing that I have found through a number of clients is their hesitancy to revisit a previous media. And it's because they haven't done the necessary testing and because they have bailed too soon to really see if a campaign is working. And this is why I implore you to please take the time to test and measure, because a campaign does not have to drone on for months and months to see if it's hitting the mark. You should be able to tell, regardless of the media mix, you should be able to tell pretty quickly how well or not your campaign is doing, and have that measured by empirical data, something in the form of a couponing or a URL measuring visits or the number of phone calls you're receiving, or something secondary other than your own hunch or feeling or expectation, because that doesn't work and that doesn't cut it. And there's been just too much guessing, and there's too much money at stake to be guessing. I don't care how much you're spending, it's too much to be, well, maybe kind of sort of we could try this. I want to know, I want to be able to defend the recommendation. I have to defend the recommendation, not just because I say so or I think so or I've been doing this for so long. No, I bring all of that experience, but I also bring a lot of research to every campaign that says this is what has worked, and this is why we should be trying this component. That does not suggest that we can't introduce something new. In fact, I try to do that every time, but I'll hedge my bets on the history and work in a campaign where the medias which are selected have shown themselves to be efficient and effective at delivering results. So too many times advertisers have simply given up too soon. Yeah, I know, we tried radio last year and it didn't work. Really? Oh. How long did you advertise for and how many stations? We used one station for 1 week. Okay, I think I can see why it kind of underperformed for you. You see, every media has to have an opportunity to showcase their strengths. And as I mentioned, that doesn't mean to drone on forever. But this expectation of an overnight cure, a panacea, just by buying some more targeted online ads or radio or newspaper or magazine or whatever the vehicle happens to be, you need to give it time to work its magic. And that's why it's so important to be testing and to be measuring all the time so you can see how long that magic takes. It might be a little bit longer in radio or newspaper or magazine than it is in other media, depending on what your message is and who you're after. So give yourself some slack to learn which media are working. That's why it's so critical that when you're evaluating your campaign, you've made sure that the message has been out there long enough and with enough impact and with a call to action to really give it a chance to show you what it's doing, what it's capable of, and to expect a sudden turnaround just because you've run a few ads is more than a tad optimistic. I have some wonderfully creative writers and artists at my disposal, and they've done tremendous campaigns for me. But some of them have been pulled too quickly because the client grew tired of them. Not because there was anything wrong with the creative, but the client got impatient waiting for faster results. There's a lot to be said for giving the media, all of the media, a chance to do their work. And they all work in different measures and at different paces and against different audiences. And that's why it's so helpful to have multiple media after you've taken the time to build up your foundation with one at a time and two at a time and then three and four and five. Once you have multiple media in place, you want to make sure that you continue to monitor their performance so that you know exactly where the sales are coming from and what's working for you. So when I've given instruction previously about planning out for the year, I've spoken of the importance of the timing and breaking it up for the season, of measuring your ads, but also make sure that whatever media you choose, you're tracking and testing and coding, but also give the campaign enough time to do its work. We are a forgetful group, and we need consistent reminders about everything. Please put enough money into your media, even if it's just one media, especially if it's just one media to start, because it's the only thing that you can measure against. It's the only barometer you have to see how well your campaign is performing. And if you drop $1 or $2 or $5 or $10,000 right out of the gate, and you see that it's working, good. Keep reinvesting there. If you see that it's not, then make some changes. But give your media a chance. And don't bail on it so quickly. Remember, you're competing with anywhere from 250 to 3,000 or more other messages every day. So you want to give yourself a chance to be heard and acted on. And whatever that measure of action happens to be, you want to be able to know that it's done the job it was intended to do, and that's to raise awareness, to stimulate sales, to make the phone ring. Whatever your metric for performance evaluation happens to be, give the media enough time to fulfill on that. One line I will leave you with that I think is quite apropos is that advertising is usually effective or inexpensive. Rarely is it both. For some additional tips, please don't hesitate to visit www.firstimpressionsmedia.ca. I believe it's your advertising, well planned and well spent, guaranteed. I'm Dennis Kelly. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.